It is the 2nd of May 2016. Call of Duty just revealed a new game, Infinite Warfare. Immediately millions of fans are disappointed. Another year of jetpacks. Within no time the reveal trailer gets flooded with literally millions of dislikes. But this is when Call of Duty's main rival strikes. Just 4 days later, on the 6th of May, millions of people open YouTube and see this. The hype is immense. The Battlefield 1 reveal trailer would end up getting 2.5 million likes, while the Infinite Warfare trailer ended up with 4 million dislikes. Infinite Warfare is now often remembered as a failed COD, if even remembered at all. Meanwhile, Battlefield 1 is still played today and is widely regarded as an amazing game that still holds up to this day. But how did it get to this point? To understand this, we have to go back to 2014. Call of Duty released Advanced Warfare, which introduced advanced movements. At first, people were open to the idea, although some people were already skeptic. But after Advanced Warfare released, most people agreed. Jetpacks ain't it. Then Black Ops 3 got announced, and once again advanced movement. People started to get a little frustrated at this point. However, Black Ops 3 ended up being quite a good game, being remembered fondly by a lot of players and even being among the best-selling CODs of all time. Although, to be fair, its numbers got boosted quite a lot by the Zombies mode, which arguably is one of the best entries so far. However, at this point, COD fans did have advanced movements for 2 years, so even players who were open to it were longing for boots on the ground. So you can imagine the disappointment when Infinite Warfare got announced. And this is exactly why Battlefield 1 released at the perfect time. Despite it being a solid game on its own, its realism and gritty historical setting provided a stark contrast with the unrealistic and just not immersive feel of the Call of Duties of that period. If you didn't play during this time, it's hard to explain, because Battlefield 1 is more than just a game, it's a feeling. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. I'm gonna do my best to describe it. The first time you load up the campaign, you see this. You spawn as a soldier in a surreal hellscape, with just one mission: to die. It is in stark contrast to Call of Duty, where you're a hero protagonist with a jetpack and a bunch of plot armor. The first mission of Battlefield 1 gives you chills as you realize that every person on the battlefield is just a young guy, just like yourself, fighting for something they don't even understand. It gives you a feeling much grander than yourself, a feeling that isn't as comfortable as shooting some random faceless soldiers in Call of Duty. It gives you mixed emotions, feelings like pride and honor, but also confusion, expendability and fear. It was impressive how Battlefield 1 managed to capture these feelings and portray war for what it is: relentless, brutal and unforgiving. And even in the multiplayer mode, this feeling continued. The maps, guns, soundtracks, everything added to the immersion, making Battlefield 1 feel like more than just a game. Now let's go back to the current time, 2025. We see the same division between realism and distraction happening right now. We see the same patterns repeating themselves. Call of Duty adds weird, unrealistic things that the fanbase just doesn't like for a couple of games already, especially the unrealistic skins and crossover bundles. Then the Black Ops 7 trailers release and it once again seems like the same thing is gonna happen, but also the inclusion of advanced movement. This immediately gave millions of players flashbacks to the 2014-2016 era of Call of Duty. But then, in the midst of all of this, Battlefield releases this. Similar to Battlefield 1, it promises an escape from COD's unrealistic nonsense and immerses the players in a realistic setting. This time not with the gritty brutality of World War I, but the harsh realities of modern warfare and modern time. Although set in an alternate universe, it draws a lot of parallels to the current geopolitical climate, and especially the uncertainty a lot of young people feel towards it. After years of relative peace, the thought of getting drafted is in the back of the mind of millions of young people all across the globe. And Battlefield 6 captures this. I think one of the most telling parts of the trailer is this section.
I have a message. It's over.
Let's get to work.
Especially for players in the United States, this can evoke multiple feelings. It can create a sense of power and pride when thinking about the fact that the president can decide to unleash a fraction of the military onto a hostile force and just wipe it off the earth. But it can also create the feeling Battlefield 1 so aptly created in its first mission. Confusion. What are you fighting for? In the end, aren't you just fighting the dad of a 4-year-old daughter who was fed the same propaganda you have been fed for years? In the end, war just never changes. And this is why I think Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 6 are so similar. Even though they might seem so different at first glance, they both remind us of the gritty reality of war. They use sound and filters to make the environment seem like it's torn and destroyed by war. Something Call of Duty just fails to capture with the saturated colors, over-the-top movements, and wacky skins. Battlefield 6 is a reflection of the time, while Black Ops 7 is a distraction of the time. And it seems that people don't want to be distracted anymore. More and more people realize that turning a blind eye isn't the right thing to do. Look at all the operations carried out by powerful nations over the last decades. Did they really end the threat, or did they create a new one? After years of collateral damage and protecting regions, the world doesn't seem like a safer place. And people are starting to see that again. So although Battlefield 6 doesn't remind us of past wars and the great sacrifices made by millions of people, it reminds us of the impending pain we face if the geopolitical situation keeps declining. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it, even though that might have just been the Battlefield 1 nostalgia. Also, to end on a somewhat more positive note, if you're watching this video, the Battlefield 6 launch is super close, or might have already happened. So go ahead and play it, immerse yourself, and actually feel something. Because after all, life is made to feel.